Today I'm using the Epi-no birth preparation device for the first time. I'm feeling both nervous and excited about it, but I know it's going to make me feel more confident for my pushing stage while reducing the risk of tearing and episiotomy at birth. So honestly, I'm all about it. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sophie and I'm a pelvic health physiotherapist specialized in pre and postnatal care. And I'm expecting my first little one here after quite a rocky TTC and IVF journey. So if you're pregnant too, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell below and you'll receive all my pelvic health tips for an empowering birth and postpartum recovery. So let's first see what the Epi-no looks like and what it is used for. The Epi-no is a birth preparation device designed in Germany that looks like a balloon that you can put right in the vagina, right at the opening. And then you can inflate it to stretch your perineum. And the goal is to reduce your risk of tearing and episiotomy at birth. There are two models of Epi-no. There's the Delphin and the Delphin Plus. The only difference is that the Delphin Plus, which is this one, has a pressure gauge which can be used as a pelvic floor biofeedback. So when you squeeze your muscles around the Epi-no, you can see that the needle is going up. And when you release, you can see that the needle is going down. So let's get started here. So I'm going to first clean the Epi-no just to be safe, as well as my hands, just using gentle soap and water. I will also need some water-based lubricant just to make it more comfortable on insertion. So I'm gonna be setting up in bed here. I'll be probably against the head of the bed with a pillow. And just for precaution, I'm just gonna put a towel under my bum just so the lube does not go on my sheets. And I will need props on both sides of my legs, so I'm gonna use this pillow and just grab another towel that I'm gonna bulk. This way I can put my legs nice and relaxed on both sides. All right, so now I'm all set. Is this crazy? Oh my god, I think I'm crazy. Who would record that kind of video? Anyway, so yeah, I have my legs nice and relaxed on both sides. I've taken off my panties, obviously. And I also went back to the washroom and rinsed this because it tends to collect hair a lot, and since I have animals at home, like I've put it just on this towel, and then when I grabbed it there was a lot of hair already around it, so just something to be mindful of. So I will just put a little bit of air. Normally just one pump is okay, because inserting something that is soft does not go well. You probably know that from other situations. I'm not gonna name which ones. Yeah, so having a bit of a firmness here is great. And then you want to put just a tiny bit of lube. Nothing crazy though, because you don't want the balloon to pop out of your vagina too easily. So all you want is for it to be easy to insert. Okay, I'm ready. So I'm just gonna put it in. And also, something I wanted to mention is, so first you'll need to always hold it, because otherwise it'll pop out. And you want to have the narrowest point of the balloon at the vaginal opening. So that means it's not going to be fully inserted, but just kind of partly inserted. So now I can already see on the gauge where I'm starting from. So I'm starting from 8 here. Because that will matter in terms of if you want to calculate how much you've inflated at the end. You want to see where you started and where you got to. Oh, I just got a baby kick here. Funny. Okay, so now I'm just gonna start inflating it. So I'm giving it one pump. I don't feel anything, so I'm just gonna go more. Don't feel anything. And what we want is to feel a sensation of stretch. So Still can't feel much. I'm just gonna make sure it's at the right spot. Normally you should feel pressure at some point. Okay, now I'm starting to feel a bit. And you can keep track of how many times you've pumped it. This way you can kind of estimate how much you've inflated it at the end. So far it's pretty manageable. It's almost hard to pump with one hand when it's at that stage. Oh yeah, now I feel a nice stretch. So I'm just gonna breathe through this. I can feel my heart pumping a little bit. Whew. It just kind of makes me realize, oh, that's going to be it, you know, like, I mean, labor will be so much more than that with the contractions and everything, but whew, that just makes it more real, you know? Okay. Another thing that you can do while you're doing this is to make sure that the needle from the gauge, if you're using the Delphin Plus, is going down as much as possible when you have inflated it. What I mean by that is often when you inflate it, you're going to feel pressure, and then sometimes with that pressure, you may tend to contract your pelvic floor and kind of squeeze it as a protection reaction, and that's totally normal. But what we want to do after that initial reaction is to release our pelvic floor and let it go, right? So I'm going to give it another pump here because I can, oh yeah, now I can feel each one for sure. And then, yeah, so then I can see myself contracting because I can actually release and see the needle moving down. So that means I was squeezing a little bit. I'm sure I'm not even halfway inflated, like, for what I'm feeling, but I'm gonna go a few more. So I'm at 24 here on the gauge. I haven't kept track of how many pumps I gave because I'm talking to you guys at the same time. And I guess the goal is once you feel that it's stretching, that you want to keep it in for 10 minutes. I don't think I can do more than that. I'm already feeling a bit like I need to talk to myself a bit. You can always deflate it too by turning this little thing here. And then at the end, you have the choice to either take it out slowly, and I don't recommend doing that fast. So, or you can deflate it and then, you know, try to see how many pumps you gave, and then you can estimate the size of the balloon. Because the real thing with that, which is the interest, I guess, is to measure after how much you were able to inflate the balloon. So if you don't push it out, then your other option is to try and calculate how many pumps you gave, but they need to be full pumps, not halfway, so it's a little harder. But if you find it too irritant to take it off when it's inflated, then totally fine to do that for the first few times. I'm gonna try another one because I think I can do it. And yeah, sometimes you can feel a bit of irritation around the urethra because it's just on top. If you feel that, you can try and push the balloon a bit more at the bottom to leave some more space to your urethra. Okay, I'm gonna try and take it out. I tried to let go of my pelvic floor. There we go. I did it! Yay, it's out! Okay, we'll see how much I did. Just gonna wipe it a little bit. Wow, that's much more than I thought. Okay, so this is the gauge here. So what you can do is put the balloon on top of the gauge and see how much you were able to achieve. Okay, so you can see here that I got to 6 centimeters. Not bad, right? For a first time. So today I was able to allow my Epi-no to kind of slowly come out, just controlling with my hand here. And it felt actually fine. It felt, I mean, it's not that comfortable, but it was not hurting me. However, if you feel that it's hurting you and you have a lot of pain around the urethra, I would suggest to avoid doing that. Just deflate it and take it out. And as I said, you can try and keep track along the way of how many times you inflated it. This way, when you take it out, you can try and say, okay, I've done 10 pumps, so I'm getting to 10, and then I can measure how much that was. But it's not as reliable of a way to see the progress you've made, because as I said, if sometimes you're counting this as a pump, but it was just half a pump, then you know it's going to be hard to know. But I do recommend trying to take it out when it's inflated a few times before birth, just to get used to that sensation and that idea, and also practice releasing your pelvic floor muscles around. So you don't want to be squeezing those muscles when you have the Epi-no in, you want to be releasing. So that is another great opportunity to practice that. The Epi-no goes up to 10 centimeters. This is 10, right? If I put it on the gauge here, you'll see. Just looking at it, I'm like, ah. But honestly, like I said, you do not need to go that far in pregnancy. Around 7 or 8 centimeters is plenty. And I always tell my patients who are nervous about that, that in the pushing stage, you'll have so many more things to help you achieve that versus just, you know, when you're pregnant. You'll have your hormone levels that will make everything stretchy in your body to help push that baby out. Your baby is also going to be you know, going into the vaginal canal with a soft head to kind of make their way out. So when you look at a newborn's head size, don't be like, oh my God, how is this going to be going through my vagina, right? Because the newborn's head is going to squish in the vaginal canal. And you'll see actually when they're born, they're gonna be born with like a cone head and it's going to take its shape within the first hour after birth. But that is for that reason, because otherwise they would never go through that canal if they had like a round shaped head. So all these things are going to be in your favor as well to deliver your baby. It's not just about how much you can stretch your perineum before birth. Now, although the Epi-no is a great tool to prep for birth, it's definitely not your only option. And my clients have had lots of success with manual stretching as well. So if you're interested in this option, I'll link my video about the perineal stretch in the description below. So what are your thoughts about this after watching my video? Are you like, yay, I want to get one, or oh, it feels scary? Let me know below. I'm so interested in knowing what you're thinking. Thanks for watching.